Live. Here we go. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Muni Misfits in the Morning. My name's Chris Larson. I am the host of this right here. So I'm the head golf professional at Osgood Golf Course. To my right, I've got Matt Cook, head golf professional at Rose Creek. You got some big news today, Matt. And then to my left, I've got Greg McCullough, head golf professional at Edgewood. Between the three of us, we are Muni Misfits in the Morning. Gentlemen, big day.
What do we got going?
Well, Matt, I think
I think me and you, Chris, should just back on.
yeah, exactly. This is the Matt show right now.
Just let the my guy do what he wants to do.
Hey, we're open.
There you go. Atta boy.
We finally got open. I mean, we beat the deadline of May 1. You know, we wanted to make sure we got going there.
Yep.
And had a great weather day on Thursday, yesterday. And we got the range open. It was busy. High schools had a chance to get out and do their first practice of the year. And in the afternoon, our superintendent came on in and said, hey, we're ready to roll. We actually opened the course and had some play. And yeah, it was
Feel
fun.
good to be back in the saddle.
It did. Yeah, it was. I love kind of that insanity, you know, out of control feeling.
We're gonna dive into some of the offs, I think, in the 2-on-2 off, because you have a fantastic opening day story that we'll dive into. But getting into, let's just talk about the show, what we got going on today. So we're going to dive into the leaderboard. We're going to do our 2-on-2 off segment, and then big show today. Then we get to dive into our kind of marquee interview.
Mystery guest, right?
Have we actually told everybody
I
who
have
we got?
not. No.
Okay.
I don't think we have.
Should we just dangle that carrot?
I think I told my mother, but
Well, we got a fantastic guest to close out the segment today. So stay tuned for that. So let's roll into Pace. You ready for which one? Leaderboard? Okay, we're going into the leaderboard. All right.
Thumbs up from Pace.
I don't have the graphics in front of me, so I can't see. So
yeah, where's your laptops?
I don't know. Well, we got two here.
Oh,
we got the
we can check people in.
We're taking tea times.
Awesome.
Yeah. So coming in at number 3 on the leaderboard, Osgood. We open today. Now just the driving range. We're not Matt Cook over here. We've got the driving range open. So the insanity starts today at Osgood. We're really stoked. We've got a brand new driving range machine, and we're set to rock. 20,000 golf ball capacity. Let's go. You guys ready?
I hope we're ready.
All right. Number 2. What do we got for number 2?
I have no idea.
You're open.
We're open today?
Your golf course.
Oh, that's right. We
Yeah.
are open today. Yes, we are. Edgewood is open today, 10 o'clock. Walking only. We're a little wet around the edges, so we're excited for a great day. Hopefully the weatherman is wrong.
All right, and coming in at number 1.
No driving range though for me yet.
Right.
Okay.
So I just have driving range.
I just have golf course.
And then this guy over here,
Of course
stealing the
he
show,
does.
coming in number 1. What do you
Of
got?
Yeah, we've got everything open. So all 18 holes are open for play. We've got the driving range open. In fact, we'll have tee times beginning about 9:30 today. As always, we take 3 days in advance. So if you want to call today for Sunday, you certainly can. It was fun to see the action out yesterday. I mean, people were jacked up coming on out there, hitting balls, you know, for the first time on turf. And so it was cool. I have a feeling, even despite the weather conditions possibly this weekend, I think we're going to get some people on out there. So
Yeah,
the outerwear sales might be
Tee
good.
times are available on
outerwear.
fargogolf.net, right?
They are.
Okay, they
Yep.
are. Yep, either place. So you can call, go online, call Pace if you need a tee time.
That's
He's
right.
a little more
right, Pace?
expensive. You go
Yeah.
through.
I know
Pace.
you didn't know that was coming, but apparently that's how we do things now.
Message us on Facebook.
Yeah, there we go. I love it.
Also, we're broadcasting live right now, so Facebook and YouTube. So be sure if you have any comments, suggestions. We already had one comment about the green speeds yesterday, so give us some time, right, on getting the course conditions up. But if you want to comment right now, feel free to leave something. Oh, we got the subscribe button too, right? That one. Okay. Go ahead, comment, subscribe. We'd love to hear your feedback on the show. So,
You didn't say we're
live from Rose Creek. That's nice. Did you make those?
Yeah, kind of like Moses here.
I know what the R stands for.
Really good.
You missed it.
All right, now let's go into our 2-on, 2-off segment. I have a feeling that opening day we got some offs as well as we have some ons.
Yeah, we might want to go on the ons first of
Okay,
all.
all right. So what do we got? What do we got going on for ons right now? What's happening?
Cookie?
Well, Andrew Israelson out of Staples, Minnesota, NDSU Bison graduate. We talked about last week was out west Washington trying to qualify for the Canadian Tour. Finished tied for 20th. That gets him conditional status. So it'll be kind of fun to see what events Andrew gets into, and hopefully he'll have a great success as far as out on that tour. So that's a pretty cool deal.
Very cool to see.
His dad didn't know how many stops he would get in necessarily. I know it's a weird deal because if you finish between, I think he said 11th and 30th, they all have the same status, and they don't know how much you're going to get to play, but then they reshuffle after, I'm not quite sure how long. So if you do get a chance to play, you got to kind of knock it right away.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, hopefully he'll get into some of those events. We'll kind of follow that as we go along this year. And so
be cool to see him play up in Brainerd.
Mhm.
Yeah. So what else we got going on for ons?
I think, Amy Olson made a great comeback yesterday. I don't think she got off to a very good start, but her middle of her round was like on fire. So she kind of, hopefully it's a jump start for her because she hasn't had the best start probably that she wanted to, but I think yesterday was a good comeback for her.
Any hole-in-ones yesterday?
I don't know that
Okay.
actually. No.
All right. Kudos to Amy. Kudos to Andrew. Okay. Now we roll into the offs. Now, before we even started, you were talking to me about opening day issues that you had out at the range machine.
Yeah.
I found this have you heard about this one?
I have not actually.
Okay,
no.
this is a solid off. Matt, why don't you go ahead, tell us what's going on with your range machine?
Well, anytime like when you open the spring of the year, you may not be able to anticipate everything. You think you get all the bugs out, and that's the cool thing. Like having a start like yesterday is, it kind of gets you a chance to get through everything and see how things are working. And we kind of found that maybe some things weren't working as far as our range machine yesterday, so we had to reprogram some things going into the season. Thought we had it all troubleshot and rolling well, but I walked into the range machine probably mid-afternoon, and I'm like, why is there golf balls all over the floor? And here I found out that I think my credit card, if you bought a large basket, it was probably kicking you out maybe nearly about 150 balls, supposed to be like 105 or something.
Nice.
Right, exactly.
Bonus buy.
Yeah. So it wasn't until I was out there and I was feeding the machine, and the guy's like, hey, I think you got too many balls pouring into these buckets in the large. And I'm like, of course, like, well, did you grab the large bucket? And he goes, this is the large. And so, balls are flying all over the place. So that's just one more thing I got to do this morning now is try to see if I can troubleshoot that. But, overall, everything else went pretty good. Anytime you go through the year, you get some new staff coming on as well. So that was a great opportunity for them to kind of learn some things as well. But, it was.
That's a solid off.
That was a good one. Like I say, if that's the worst thing that'll happen to this year, I'll be a happy guy.
Well, okay, guys, what do we got? What else do we got for off? We got anything else that's off?
I think the only other thing we can talk about is what's going on north end of the valley. I know there's quite a few golf courses, probably starting Grand Forks Country Club and up north. I'm sure there's some along the river, the smaller ones that we don't know about either, that have had a little issue with all this water. So, our thoughts are with them. We hope that it kind of gets up and down. I know, there's some worries about this weekend as to what's going to happen. So hopefully, we don't get it quite as much, or we get the factor that it's just going to keep that going down. So, I think that's an offer for anybody who's on the north end of Valley.
How are you? Are you guys sitting pretty good? And have they talked much about as far as added precipitation in our area?
I as far as I understand the way that the graphs work is they have about 2 inches built into those graphs. So, I think it would take something unusual. I know, for us, we obviously it looks really pretty when you drive in. It doesn't affect any golf necessarily, just around the outside. So, again, we fingers crossed that we don't have a major issue this weekend. And I think a lot of that water, based on the way they've been in the past, and I think pretty sure that water is built in.
Okay.
So where are we at on hole number 3 out there at Edgewood?
Like 4 when you drive in?
Yes, 4
when you drive in. So it's actually down to was up probably 3/4 the way up that. Now it's probably half, and it's going to go down pretty quick. So I think by the time, like tomorrow, unless we get really a lot of rain, we'll be down to like 19 feet, 18 feet. So
And that
he's
water.
had to pump some ponds because our intake valve is at 17 feet. So the pond on 3, the pond on 7, those ponds he's have to pump out because the water can't go out the way it's used to going out. But yeah, we'll be good.
When that water's up there,
Yeah,
it's like the most intimidating tee shot ever.
it's beautiful.
It's
But
really cool.
I mean, there's 2 of us here that couldn't carry it far enough to get to make it up there. I mean, you probably could. Matt probably could. But
That's a poke.
it's a long way. So
Yeah.
there's a when people drive in, there's a lot of fear factor going on right now as to where we're going to set the tee so everybody can play there. But it's
Super
been, but we
cool.
haven't been open. I haven't sold any golf balls, so I might just jack it all the way back. Anyway.
Let her go.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's our segment for 2 on, 2 off. Now, without further ado, we get to roll into our mystery guest interview. So,
Real quick, we did have a comment.
oh yeah.
Somebody wants to know what's my tee times coming back this year.
Oh,
The tournament, yes. The tournament, yes. Matt, we got such a late start that Matt and I have to come up with the time. But it is the best ball we started last year. Yes, it is coming back. More to be determined, unless Matt wants to run it this weekend, which is very possible. Actually,
I didn't tell Greg, but yes.
shocking.
yeah.
That's shocking.
Shotgun at 9 o'clock.
Yeah. No,
Guys are
so we
coming
are
in.
coming back. Thanks for the question. We had a great inaugural year last year, and we'll continue to do that. Again, with the late start we got, we'll have to adjust our time just a little bit.
All right. We good? Okay. So,
Without further ado,
Yes, so we've got a tape segment we did as far as with Fargo's own PGA Tour player, Tom Hoge. It was great to have Tom on and to get a little bit of his time. And so I'm going to let Pace go ahead and roll that. Hope you enjoy.
without further ado, I would like to introduce the 2022 AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am champion. We have Fargo's Tom Hoge on. Tom, good morning and welcome to the Muni Misfits. We do want to thank you
guys.
very much.
Yeah, how's it going?
Very good, very good. Hey, I know you've got a very busy schedule. There's a lot going on. We are in major season. We greatly appreciate having you on the air today. Does it ever get tired of hearing that? The AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am champion?
No, it's pretty cool, and sounds like it keeps getting better every time I do hear it. That it's funny. We've played so much golf since then. It seems like that was a few years ago almost that happened. So it's nice to keep thinking back to it.
I was looking. I think you've got probably 20 events in already, and to me, it just seems like I know that with the season changing, having the fall season, then moving on in. It seems like the golf season is just getting going, but like you said, you're really kind of been in the heart into it for a while. And like I said, now we're in kind of the major season. You feeling a little bit worn down?
Yeah, a little bit. I'm nice. I've got a couple weeks off of my schedule now, and then the tour comes to Texas, which is home for me. So a few home games, so to speak, here in Dallas and Fort Worth. So it'll be nice, just to get some time again in my own bed and get some good sleep again.
What's for you after having that victory at Pebble? What's kind of changed as far as in your life since then, except for like your checkbook increasing drastically?
I mean, I would say I've just been busier, if that makes sense. That everywhere I kind of go, there's just a few more requirements and a few more people want to talk as you're walking out to the range or to the putting green, and everything just seems to take a little bit longer. So it's been a little bit of an adjustment, but things have settled in pretty well. I've been playing nicely. I'd like to kind of get back to the form I had to start off the year, but I'm happy with the way things are progressing, and we've got a lot of big tournaments coming up here in a short period of time this summer. So I'm excited for that.
So, and by the way, hey, how's it going, Tom? Thanks for coming on the show. So one thing that I've always interested in is, as you're talking about your schedule and it's getting, packed with things, what is your schedule like? What's a week look like for Tom Hoge as he's preparing for the next tour event?
Yeah, so I would say Monday's kind of the travel day where I might show up kind of all over the board for when I show up to a tournament. But if anything, if I practice at all at the golf course on Monday, it'll be for an hour or two, nothing too crazy. Wednesday is kind of our pro-am day, and most of them now are 9 holes. So kind of based off of that. And then I back up, Tuesday is kind of based off of Wednesday. So play the other 9 holes at least, and get a few hours of practice in on Tuesday. So, I think that I've kind of learned through my years on tour that, getting some good rest in Tuesday and Wednesday is a big deal. A lot of times I had went on to over practice almost on Tuesday and Wednesday and going to tournaments a little bit tired. So my focus is more on being fresh and kind of checking the boxes that, if I get some time spent working my wedge game, some time on the greens, dialing in the speed of the greens for the week. But the rest of the ball striking will be good enough to compete for that week, and kind of away we go.
Very cool.
Tom, I don't imagine you've had to work a whole lot. Your ball striking has been phenomenal right now. I think you're top 20, probably well inside that actually, as far as in strokes gained from tee to green. Has there been much as far as you've been working on as far as your game right now, or are you just feeling pretty good?
Yeah, things feel like they're in pretty good order. And I felt like I played pretty well in the fall last year backing up as well. So I felt, good heading into the off season before I kind of came out and played well there in Palm Springs and Pebble Beach. But, I would say it's just been the process of a lot of years of kind of refining technique and working on the basics and the fundamentals and the stuff that's boring that everybody likes to ignore. But for me, it's all set up, alignment, that sort of stuff. And as long as that's in check, I seem to hit it pretty well. So that's always been my focus.
Coming on up with the majors right now, I'm guessing you just completed as far as the Masters, and I can't imagine that must have been a phenomenal experience. How was that? Do you have goosebumps going down Magnolia Lane?
Yeah, it was really cool. Even making that drive on Sunday for the 7th day in a row, I mean, that never gets old. And it was just a cool deal, that I could have a lot of family and friends and kind of all the people who have helped support me as I've gone through this journey. A lot of them were able to make it there for a couple of days or for the whole week. So to have them all there, a lot of them for the first time, to get to share in that journey with me was pretty cool as well.
So Tom, has your schedule changed? Obviously it is. I mean, the schedule changes. The pairings obviously have changed, and the time of day, maybe Thursday, Friday, when you play has changed. Has that been an adjustment for you a little bit or not?
Everybody would joke because I was always getting that first off 7 a.m. tee time every week. So I'm out of that category, luckily. Yeah, I mean, you kind of hit it on the head. My schedule hasn't changed as much you would think, because I had a good finish to the FedEx Cup here last year, finishing about 50th. So I was in pretty much everything other than the majors at that point. So a little bit of adjustment because I'm in pretty much all the majors now. But yeah, like you said, you're playing some of those marquee pairings, feature groups where you're on PGA Tour Live, that sort of stuff, which is kind of cool. For more so for my family to be able to watch. But yeah, it's definitely where I've tried to get to, and it's pretty cool that finally I've got to this point in my career.
So now you get better pairings, better times. The question that I want to ask you, and we talk about this a lot sometimes with course setups. Tom Hoge gets to play his course. You get to pick the course, and you get to pick the course setup. Where are you playing, and what kind of setup do you maybe see that may or may not be differently than a regular week?
That's a good question. I would say, first of all, I've always done well on, I would say, a little bit of the shorter, tighter golf courses we play on tour, smaller greens where you've got to keep the ball in play. You got to hit greens. I think
coming to Edgewood then.
Yeah, perfect. Let's do it.
We're going to have a tour event at Edgewood.
Yeah, absolutely. No, but I mean, the realistic part, I would say my driving distance is pretty much average on tour. And we just, we play tournaments at places like Torrey Pines and stuff that I could play as good as I can and maybe finish 5th or 10th or something like that. I mean, they just don't set up very well for me. So, it's kind of been those shorter golf courses where you've got to drive it straight, keep it in play. Hawaii, Sony is a good one for me. Trying to think of some others, but And, kind of with the tee time deal, I like playing in the morning still. That seems to be a little bit easier with the wind down. The greens can stay a little bit softer. So, that's kind of an advantage. I think the biggest change in tee times comes, your rookie year, you're always last off. And then you get moved up to that first off time slot. And that's it. It's hard to state it, but that's a couple shot difference usually over the course of a week, just because when you're last off in the afternoon, it's generally the windiest and the greens are kind of beat up from all the traffic of 150 guys in front of you. And it's just hard to go play in that situation. So, that's the biggest adjustment. And this one's a little bit easier, I would say, kind of moving into the middle with that winners category.
So one thing, getting back to AT&T and the Pebble Beach deal, one thing that I took from your win there is, especially coming down the stretch, how well you putted under pressure. And yep. For me, when I see that, my heartbeat's going a million miles a minute just watching you do that. And now as a refined tour player, how did you get to that point where putting clutch under pressure? Because that is such a big thing that we see when we teach our students. We want to teach them how to play their best under pressure. How have you got to that point in your career where you're just welcoming that?
I think for me, that more than anything, I had been in that situation and been uncomfortable and felt everything before. And, I kind of kept saying it, that I wanted to be in contention more often. So I got used to those feelings, right? Like that's the only way to really prepare for it, is to be there and feel what's going on. And, yeah, that was a weird day because I felt great the whole day. And, you stand over some of those putts that are to tie or to take the lead. And I really didn't feel any of that. I don't even know what you'd call it. Anxiousness, excitement. There's so many emotions kind of going through your body. And to me, it's just, you stand over those putts, it's hard to quiet everything down. It's hard to quiet your body and be still, hard to quiet your mind. So I was lucky right up until I ran that putt on 18 by 4 feet and had that comebacker. I felt great the whole way. That was kind of the oh shit moment, but I was able to sneak that one in the left side, luckily, and go from there.
I was just, as Chris had mentioned, as far as Pebble, I also thought, man, you made a lot of clutch putts at the Masters as well. I tell you, having those 5-6 footers coming on back, it we think would be quite nervy, but man, you handled that really well also.
Yeah, I think, that's kind of the biggest challenge that you're going to embrace at the Masters, is that you're going to have putts from 6 to 8 feet all day long for par, it feels like, just because the golf course is so hard. The greens are so difficult around there to lag them close. And I felt like I did okay there. I was a little bit frustrated. A few of the rounds I lost some momentum in the middle of the rounds because I missed a few of those 5-6 foot par putts, but all in all, I had a pretty good putting week there. I felt like I handled those greens pretty well for the first time seeing it at tournament speeds. It's the hardest part. I went there a month in advance, and the golf course, the greens are probably rolling a 10 on the stimp meter and kind of soft, and then you get there for the tournament on Monday and they're a 13 and they're brick hard, so it changes quite a bit.
Well, it's been awfully fun watching you kind of hanging up on the leaderboard on a lot of these events as far as this 21-22 season. I mean, you look at both the Masters and the Players Championship, and it looked like maybe a couple swings on the back nine. Other than that, I mean, both those are top 10 finishes, and you've already got a tie for fourth and a second place at the American Express, as well as that victory at Pebble. So it's been great to see you at the top. You obviously are kind of getting a little bit more comfortable as far as being on the front page of the leaderboard.
Yeah, for sure. And, I guess if I kind of back up in my career to this point, I felt like I've always got myself there through the first or second round, and then just had a bad round on Saturday or Sunday that's kind of backed up. And I don't know if I'm getting smarter as I get old or what the deal is, but kind of figuring out how to manage these tournaments a little bit better, understand that, there's stretches of 6-8 holes where you're just not going to hit it well, and you've got to figure out how to make pars in those holes and hang in there. And I think I've done that a little bit better this year, and kind of made it through those stretches, and then got to where I kind of take off and make some birdies again.
So earlier in the interview, you were talking about how you got a little bit of a grind going with a lengthy tournament schedule, and it's kind of all jammed into one, and you got to preserve time for yourself. What are you doing for yourself to kind of get you back to square one, recharge? What are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, the simple things, just kind of be at home and relaxing here for a few weeks. I've got a great sponsor in Inspirato, and last fall, their CEO, they said, you play great. I want to give you a trip, go anywhere at one of our properties. I was like, shoot, I'm sorry, but I just want to go home and hang out in my own house for a week, because I haven't seen it all year. But that really is kind of the reality. I've played 33, 34 weeks the last couple of years, and it's probably been too much. To be honest with you, I should probably try to cut that back a few weeks and get a little more time at home. But it's a tough deal when every week on tour, they're handing out a check for $1.5 million, and guys are making money out there. You want to be out there competing against them. So it's been a good thing to balance. And, I'm just trying to ride this hot streak as long as I can, really.
I've got to ask a question. My daughter had asked me, she goes, "Oh, you're going to have Tom Hoge on. I got to ask this. At any point in your high school career, did you envision that you'd be on the PGA Tour and playing in the Masters?"
Yeah, I mean, you felt like you were always putting yourself through those putts right every day in the putting green, that this putt's to win the Masters, this putt's to be there. And I don't know, maybe I just had some blind optimism and was naive to how hard it was to get out here. But I would say I always did envision myself being here. Now, certainly I knew there were going to be a lot of challenges and whatnot to make it out here. And like I said, I think I was a little bit naive to the fact of the numbers, just how tough it is to get out here and do it. But I mean, just one of those deals, just put your head down and keep grinding, and you never know where you're going to end up.
So I have one more question, and obviously, thanks for taking the time. How much is it going to cost Matt Cook to, if we get some Ashworth garb with some Muni Misfits logo, how much is that going to cost Matt?
They could probably be arranged for a decent price there. Yeah, it's been you're going the right direction, though, because it's been kind of cool to bring the Ashworth brand and kind of be the guy to carry that banner there. But they're making a comeback. Everybody asks me about it every week, and it's cool to have that logo back that was so iconic there as I was growing up,
Tom, as of now, I haven't, are you playing in the 3M in the cities this year?
I plan to be there, yeah. So I'm going to play the Scottish Open and British Open. It'll be my first trip over there to Scotland to play some of those golf courses. St. Andrews this year for the British will be pretty cool as well. And then the 3M's the week after. So I'll plan to play those 3 in a row. And it'll be a busy stretch. Maybe I'll be able to make it up to Fargo after the 3M that week. I'm not sure yet. But, it'll be nice to get a little time there around those events and hopefully work something out to get a trip back home.
Yeah, I think Kennedy and Jandro and Granis, those guys been talking some smack. So I think they think they've got your number.
Yeah, exactly. I'm afraid of how many shots I have to give them now.
Oh.
I think we're good. Yeah.
Well, once again, I know you've got a busy schedule. We greatly appreciate the time. We wish you all the best as far as the remainder of your season once again. Hopefully we'll keep seeing you right on the front of the leaderboard, and look forward to seeing you back in Minnesota if you can make that 3M. So best of luck to you, and thanks much.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah,
Tom.
thanks, guys. Always enjoy the chat with you.
You bet.
Thank you.
That was pretty cool.
It was cool. Yeah, it's always fun to visit with Tom and kind of hear a little bit what's going on in tour, and hopefully he'll continue to knock it out of the park the remainder of the season. So,
and just a dude, he's just a great guy. And setting up that interview, I mean, it was pretty simple, wasn't it? I mean, it's like, of course.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he's always been really good, I think, with his time. Like he's been on some of the other local media as well, and both he and Amy, that's been fantastic, is to be able to have that, and that means a lot. I think there's a lot of kids that kind of see that, and I'm sure that kind of strive to be there. I know it's just, I think I've said it before, but it's enjoyable watching him up there, but I'm feel like I'm in the moment. Like I get so angry, or not angry at Tom, but just like, I don't want him to do so well, and you just kind of get caught up in the moment, just kind of rooting on, kind of like I do with Minnesota sports teams. So I'll stick with you, Tom.
So with that, hey, thanks for tuning in. This is our show today. Big week now. We got golf courses are open. We got the driving ranges open. Be sure that you log on fargogolf.net, come into the shops, get your season passes, hang out with us. We'd love to have you in the golf shops and seeing what's up. So Anything else, boys?
Nope, sounds good.
All right. Thanks for tuning in. We will see you next week. Muni Misfits in the morning.